Hello everyone, so in this video I'm going to walk you through 3 steps that you can take to plan your content for 1 year using Google Docs. This is for anybody who's interested in doing any kind of content creation on Pinterest, Instagram, or Facebook, or any other platform. The steps I'm going to walk you through are: first, we're going to set up a table in Google Docs. Secondly, we're going to talk through mapping out key milestones for the year. And then third, we're going to work backward to plan out our content. But first, let me introduce myself really quick. My name is Tiffany. I'm a project manager by training. I worked in corporate America and in hospital systems for most of my career. I'm super obsessed with planners, journals, and notebooks, anything really office supply related. And I'm actually creating my own planner right now. I'm also a big fan of true crime. I'm a true crime podcast listener, and I'm also a Scientology watcher. I'm now on my laptop, and I'm in my Google Drive. And step 1 is we are going to set up a new table in a Google document folder. So if you don't know how to do a Google document folder, you go up here to the corner and add new, and you add a Google Doc. I'm going to create that. And what we're going to do is we're just going to have a really simple table. I've seen some other things online where people are creating these really robust and crazy Excel sheets, and I'm in awe of that, and I think it's fantastic, but my brain just didn't work that way, and I really needed to do something and really think through my content in a different way. So what I'm going to do is insert a table, and I'm going to choose 2 by 2 for now. And what's going to happen is, so I am recording this video at the end of October in 2021, and what I would like to do is start thinking about content and getting into a groove through now, from now until December of 2022. So I'm going to start with December because I feel like I have a little bit of a runway there. And I'm going to add the months. You can add the year if you want to. And what I like to do is merge this first column. And there's a reason why I'm going to do that. Merge these cells. And then I'm just going to keep going. And I'm going to say January, February, and as you can see, you can keep going down like that. And then what I'm going to do is, after they're all said and done, I'm going to merge all of these cells at the top where the month is, because I'm going to add key milestones or key dates there that I really need to keep in mind. And I'm going to just do a little bit of this so I don't bore you with this detail. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some color here. Because I like to highlight things, so I'm going to just maybe make this a gray color. And last in this step, I'm going to add the following categories here: planning, launching, circulating, LHF, low-hanging fruit or ongoing, and platforms. And then on this side, this is going to be planning notes for each month. I'll probably put a space in between here. So then what you can do is just copy and paste this all the way down in each section. Actually, I could do this whole thing. Okay. And so let me talk through, I have a completed sheet that I'll show you and we'll walk through, but let me explain the logic here. So ideally, when we're developing content, we're usually mapping it out in relationship to seasons, events, or things that might be going on in your business. So, for example, if you're a recipe blogger, and that's the example I'm going to use here today, and so bear with me because I'm not a recipe blogger, so my examples will be pretty basic. But if you are looking at planning recipes for Valentine's Day that you're going to share with your audience, you probably, depending on the platform, you probably need to be planning those things a couple months in advance. So that's where this planning goes. What topics are we going to be targeting planning for in December? Launching means what social media content should I be launching in December? Should it be things for January? Should it be things for February? Again, I think Instagram is more of an instantaneous when you're launching the content on Instagram or Facebook or maybe even TikTok. Whereas I know with Pinterest, sometimes it takes pins up to 6 to 8 weeks to start circulating. So when do you need those pins to be circulating? And that's what circulating means, is what content of mine that I've put out there should be circulating in that month. And then low-hanging fruit or ongoing, what are the content that you develop, for example, that maybe isn't related to events or holidays or seasons, but it's just kind of the ongoing things that you're able to provide your audience in a valuable way. And then platforms, I have here platforms because, you know, what platforms are you targeting in certain months? Are you targeting different platforms in different months, or is it the same one every year? And then planning notes is obviously a space for you to really kind of work through ideas as we work through. So I'm going to move to the step 2, but first let me show you, I have here a finished version. So I have December 2021 all the way down to December 2022. And so what we're going to do is, the next step is start mapping out all of the events that might relate to your business or your content and things you need to be aware of. And again, I'm going to use the example of being a recipe blogger. So you're probably going to, want to consider Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's Eve events. For November, Day of the Dead, you can do some really fun things with that. Hanukkah, Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I mentioned Black Friday and Cyber Monday here because are these, if you have products that you're selling, do we want to be really prepared for running sales during that time or awareness to our product? October, we have the season of fall, Halloween. September, Labor Day. Fall also starts in September for a lot of the country. August, we have Dog Days of Summer, back to school. So again, you're putting your major events in this first row here for the month that we merge together. July is 4th of July. It's also summer. June, summer and beach. Memorial Day I have for May, spring, and I also have wedding season begins. April is spring as well. March, the big event there would be St. Patrick's Day if you're a blogger. February would be Valentine's Day. January would be New Year's, fresh starts, and those sorts of things. And so what I recommend is once you have completed step 2 and you've gone through everything and you've mapped out what holidays matter, what seasons matter to my content, do you have conferences or events that are actually happening that relate to your content and they take place at certain times of the year or certain times of the month? And then what you're going to do, which is step 3, you're going to start working backwards from December. I recommend working backwards from December. I don't care when you start this actually. If you start this in July, I would still recommend in 1 year, like in July of 2022, I would recommend moving from July through the end of the next year. Because for some reason, at least for me, it makes a lot more sense to start working back from December. And so you're going to start thinking, okay, in Christmas, in December, I'm going to really need to be circulating. What will I really need to be? What content needs to be circulating? So let's say that users are seeing recipes for New Year's Eve parties. Okay, so then you, as the content creator, when do those need to be launching? They probably need to be launching, I would say, at least in November, because that's when people are starting to think about that kind of thing, you know, mid to late November. So then you would want to, right here, I want to launch my New Year's Eve parties. So then when you need to be planning those, if you're like to work ahead like I do, I would be planning those in October. And so this is the way in which you can kind of work backwards and start developing ideas in what you should, and getting ahead of the things. You'll also notice for here the low-hanging fruit or the ongoing. Again, I'm not a recipe blogger, but I would imagine, you know, one topic that recipe bloggers could also be sharing on the regular that doesn't really relate necessarily to events or times of the year is instructional culinary content, like tips, you know, how to be more efficient in the kitchen. You know, general nutrition information might be also something that can just kind of go all year round, and it kind of doesn't really matter. And I have this here as a reminder because I think sometimes, at least for me, I forget about just kind of even going back to the basics when I'm developing content. And then I'm thinking, looking at December as an example again, okay, what's launching? So probably New Year's resolutions items for January, the next month. You know, maybe it's healthy recipes or whatever. And so again, if those are launching and you're launching those in December and you're starting to pin them or you're launching them onto social media, then you know you probably want to be planning those. In my opinion, you at least want to start the thought process. You want to start doing those in November. So I have a completed version for you to just kind of look at. But, you know, assuming we're starting in December of, you know, the previous year, you know, in theory, you know, maybe we're working a couple months ahead and we're planning St. Patrick's Day recipes because those recipes are going to launch in January, and then they're going to be circulating in February, a month before, you know, or at least maybe 4 to 6 weeks, maybe it's even less, maybe it's like 3 weeks before. I'm giving things a lot of leeway here because I'm trying to, a lot of people may not work this way, but I'm trying to also incorporate a lot of time, especially for Pinterest, people who do pins, because again, pins a lot of times take between 6 and 8 weeks to really start circulating. And I think the more often people see the content before the event, you know, the more likely they're going to be interested in, you know, saving things and collecting ideas for certain events. Again, for January, I have, you know, spring flower cookies as an example that starts planning. Those spring flower cookies start launching in February, and then they're circulating in March, just before spring starts to hit. And you could even have them circulating again in April as well and continue them. And obviously, use this information or use this table however you would like. But for me, I found it really helpful to just get myself organized at a really high level to say, okay, what content do I need to be creating, and when do I need to be planning it? When do I need to be launching it? When do I need to be circulating it? Or when do I need it to be circulating on the platform to be beneficial to other people, to give them enough time to be creative, to go shopping, to be inspired. So my timelines may be have a little bit of a long runway, but I think you get the get the idea. And then over here is where I put planning notes as I'm planning. So, you know, I might start working out very specific ideas. So for example, here, if I'm planning summer camping recipes, I might be like, okay, like, can I make, can I make interesting hot dog recipes, you know, that are easy, you know, in that situation, you know, and then start documenting any ideas that you might have and start getting things kind of mapped out. So I would say that what I walked through here with you is more of a precursor to actually scheduling or putting things into an actual calendar and actually having them launch. This is more of like the planning thought process of how do I generate this content in a way where I'm not missing holidays or missing major events.